The problem with the cars for me is those cars are manufactured somewhere. You know, in China.
That is something I haven't. That is something I haven't totally made peace with.
Welcome back to the Bhavcast. Today I have comedian and lady who shares the same bangs as me. Please welcome Lauren Ellis.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
Oh, I'm chilling. It's Friday.
Hell yeah.
You know, the end of summer. Are you excited for fall?
Honestly, yes, very much so.
What are your favorite seasons?
Fall and spring, for sure.
The transition season, same.
Yes.
I'm like lesser on the spring because that's when bugs come to life.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, fall first for sure. But I just the moderate temperatures. That's really really does it for me.
No, I agree. Somewhere you can just like put on a little jacket, light jacket.
Yeah. Extreme conditions either way make me like very noticeably neurodivergent.
Yeah,
make me very spazzy.
Yeah, it also makes me feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I love the cold, but like I don't get good circulation because my people are from the warmth. You know what I mean? Like my body's like, what are you doing here?
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then too hot, I'm just like, I need to lay down.
Oh, I'm such a bitch when it's too hot. It's crazy.
It's like people are like, is she on her period or is it just too hot?
Oh, sometimes both.
And those days,
look out.
Stay out of Lauren's way that day.
No, real shit. Ask anyone that loves me.
No, I love that. So, let's talk about these bangs real quick, because you know we're here for a reason. What was your okay? Let's start here. What was your hairstyle like your whole life?
Oh boy, this is a really good question.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'm upset to have so much attention on these right now because they are overgrown.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, as soon as they're touching my eyebrows, they're too long. But I was allowed to do some things with my hair when I was a teenager that I should not have been allowed to do.
What is your natural hair? Can I ask that?
Dirty blonde.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And straight or curly?
Wavy.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
like kind of what we're rocking with here, but this is after some braids. So
okay,
it's
nice.
Yeah. But I started fucking with it when I was too young, and turns out I don't have the face shape for like any haircut. I had a lot of I was being gay was such a large part of my personality when I was a child, and I had a lot of haircuts to back it up. Had a lot of pixie cuts that were cute, really high maintenance. Like short hair sucks because like you got to get it cut like all the freaking time.
Yeah.
You think it's low effort, but it costs a lot more money actually. But anyway, I kept trying to grow that out, kept not succeeding. Eventually progressed to a blue mohawk.
Wow. Shaved on the sides?
Oh man, it was brutal.
Oh my god.
I've got some pictures I'll let people see of them, and then there's some that will never see the light of day.
Was it spiked or just like a one? And how long?
I like tried to fuck around with it with products, and it just always looked ridiculous. So
Of course.
I never really wore it publicly.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad when it looked its best, but it looked really bad very quickly. And there was too much face. Like this works because it like sits in all the right places. But anyway,
Wait, how long was it off the top of your head? I need to know.
My hair was always giving like low-key Justin Bieber no matter what I did with it when I was in high school.
Okay.
Fun fact, he was born 1 week before me, same year.
Wow.
I've got a really similar birth chart to Justin Bieber.
What year was that?
94.
94. I'm a 93 baby.
There we go.
You know, 90s.
Yeah. Being 30 is weird as fuck, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's chill, you know? Like, I'm like, now all the worrying is over. We've entered the years of like, all right, we're getting old.
Right.
You know, in your 20s, you're like worrying, oh, I'm going to get old. You know, now it's like,
I'm here.
I'm here. I'm like the new kid on the block. So now it's just, okay, let's just keep living, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. Wait, I'm hell-bent on finishing this.
Yeah, I
thing.
want you. Yeah, so you got the mohawk, and then after that?
Growing that out was very brutal. It took a very long time.
Uh-huh.
But then once I did, I never cut like real length of it off since. I was in like 2012, and I've had the same haircut almost ever since I was able to grow it this long.
Okay.
So because I went through the trenches of unflattering haircuts.
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean,
once I found one that works, I'm like, oh, that's the brand. Like,
blue hair, mohawk on that chick, that's tough. That's a tough cut.
with as round of cheeks as these. Oh my god.
Yeah, you never wanted to ever just pinch someone's cheeks that had a mohawk except you. Like, usually they're like, oh, I'm going to stay away. You're like, oh, let's just get in there. That's so adorable. I mean, I had chubby cheeks. I mean, I still kind of sometimes do if I smile, you know what I mean? But I've been doing like kind of like face exercises, like.
Does that work?
Nah.
That's the thing. Nothing seems to. I'm like fucking. I'm looking, but everything I try, it's.
I mean,
snake oil.
What can help is okay. I do this face thing. It's like we talk about face healthcare on the Bhavcast all the time, so it's great.
Hell yes.
It's called the Bhav balls, and it's like like when you bartend.
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe I thought. But like, those round balls they put into like whiskey drinks sometimes, like the classy ice balls. Mm-hmm. So you just make one of those, put your favorite face wash in it, use it twice a day. And it's like done wonders for my skin. Wow. Yeah. And like a little bit of like inflammation sometimes and whatever, you know what I mean?
Fascinating.
Yeah. And it's like ice. It's like an ice bath for your face. I just take one in the shower every day with me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get a little acne on the back of my arms from the gym. And I hit that. I'm like, hey.
Right.
And like, since the middle gets all like fucking, like a little like textured, it's like an exfoliant.
Oh. That's brilliant. Dude.
Yeah.
I got to get me an engineering degree.
No. I just one day it hit me because I was taking ice cubes in there. You know what I mean? And then I was like, I need something bigger. And then I was like, it's actually the alcoholism that made me figure it out.
That's what I'm missing.
Did you ever grow up partying? Did you do that in your life?
I was on a fuck ton of psych meds when I was in high school. I've always been a stoner.
That's the whole psychic vibe now. I'm getting it.
Something like that. Yeah. Blessed and highly favored. But I tried to drink a few times in high school. I didn't like it because it made me so sick.
Yeah,
and then I just like never got too into it. I've always been a stoner to an embarrassing degree. I was scared to do psychedelics when I was on those medications, but for some reason I thought it was safe to do bottles of Robitussin.
Robo-tripping.
Honestly, that was my shit, and I miss it. I talk about it every day. Fucking DXM is making a comeback. But
I might have participated in a little robo-tripping in my...
It's a great time.
My time was not that great.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. Everyone has their experiences on everything,
Right. I was in Florida for a while, but then I moved back here like 3 years ago, and now I drink more than I ever have because everything I do is at a bar.
Yeah.
But it also makes me a huge C word the next day when I'm hungover. So I'm trying to kind of only do it on special occasions.
Yeah, that's what, I try to only party to celebrate things.
Right.
And then I end up saying like, oh man, every Bobcast is a celebration. God damn.
Well, when you're right, you're right.
But eventually I would like to find sobriety.
Yeah.
I've been going hard since college and it's like, I'm tired.
Right.
And like, you're right. Like it robs the next day's happiness because you're like,
right. It's like you're borrowing it from tomorrow and then doubling it then, but God, it sucks the next day.
Yeah. And then sometimes when you hit your 30s, it's fucking lasting 2-3 days.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm seriously such a douchebag when I'm hungover. Like, for the sake of my relationships, I've got to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's I was like in a frat in college. It's not one of my like go-to personalities, but like I mean, I did a lot of drinking, so recovery time is like a big thing for those boys. What do you do the next day? What like?
Wait, I think I missed the first part of what you just said.
Like because I was in a frat in college.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't like waking up hungover, but I know I got a social all weekend, so I gotta be fucking ready to go. You know,
right.
Put a smile on my face. So like, what is your like recovery look like? Are you drinking water before you go to bed?
I used to be so good about that, and then I started drinking more frequently, and I almost never do.
Yeah.
But ideally, I would just be not drinking very much, but like water in between each drink, and then like more than one glass of water before bed or something.
Yeah. Are you taking any extra electrolytes?
I'm not doing shit, Bob. Is the thing. It's like I didn't like master the art of the hangover like in my 20s.
I'm trying to help you.
Well, I actually let me get my phone out. I'm gonna take some notes. But
I'll clip it all up for you.
Because you're right. But no, my routine thus far is really just like rotting the next day, and then if I have to be out of the house, being really difficult to deal with.
No, Lauren, these are I'm gonna like okay. This is just because of my experience.
Please,
you know?
All right. Now that I understand, I'm all ears.
Just get a box of liquid IVs. Just a little box, a big box at Costco. Get them. I'm Indian and cheap.
People don't consider Costco enough. You're right.
Yeah, and then you got to get some sunlight. Don't hide from the sun. That's your source of real energy.
You're so right. I've never considered any of this.
And then you get some good food, and then like do a little walking in the sun. Walking in the sun. That's the best form of anything.
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, no, you gotta do more of it.
Yeah.
You gotta force yourself to do it,
You're right.
Like
You're
I force myself to do it every day.
Right.
Just 10 minutes.
You said that, and I was like, oh yeah, I do that sometimes. And one time I was like walking around hungover. It was like my 30th birthday. Like I've been going too hard that week, and I was just like trying to walk it off, and then I just like straight up got hit by a car. Well, it was I'm so sure it was more his fault than it was mine. Because he I had the right of way as a pedestrian, and he just like flew out of nowhere. Yeah. I could have stood to be a little more alert that he was coming, but I was where I was supposed to be, and he just taps me. It wasn't that big of a deal. It's just how else do I say that?
I got fucking tapped in Chinatown once.
It's almost kind of fun. It's like very exhilarating, because you're so upset for like 6 seconds, and then you're like so relieved. Yeah, it's just like that feels really good. He had his window down. He's like, sorry, and I'm like, it's my birthday.
He probably went home and killed himself.
He don't care that much, but I was rewarded shortly after, because I walked away, and then there was immediately an ice cream truck, and I was like, oh hell yeah.
Love that. You love ice cream? Because I'm the son of a Dairy Queen.
On my birthday, but you're right. I did forget about that. I bet you guys have bomb ass ice cream birthday cakes.
Yeah, I mean, so what we do more is like you just bring someone a blizzard that they will really enjoy.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, it depends.
I must be thinking of Carvel.
Okay. Let's backtrack.
I don't mean to offend you.
No, you're good. Carvel is great. Carvel is great. Dairy Queen does. Some of the bigger establishments have bigger freezers that they have ready to sell ice cream cakes.
Okay.
We do too, but like we don't decorate.
You were at
them.
the mall.
Yeah. But we just decorate them when people come there. You know what I mean? They have sometimes like pre-made ones with like stickers on them, like fucking race cars and shit. You know? So we don't do all that jazz.
Right.
But we had some ice cream cakes ready to go.
Hell yeah.
Now that I think about it. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite form of ice cream is ice cream cake on a birthday.
So I know what flavor you like, since you mentioned Carvel. Do you like the Cookie Crunch, that candy in there a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shit is fucking good.
That shit rocks.
Yeah, Cookie Crunch, we had a whole fucking tub of it at DQ. So, like, I would just take a scoop and put it on a sundae.
It's astonishing you're not fatter.
No, I was, and when I was drinking, I was, and I grew man titties. But I spent a lot of time exercising and in the gym.
We've got to chat about that off cam.
Yeah, it's just you gotta make a decision. You know, if I want to eat these sweets, because I have a real bad candy addiction. If you're gonna eat these sweets, then every other meal is fucking rice, chicken, and broccoli.
Yeah, right.
And you gotta walk and like, all these things.
Right. I'm definitely hitting a wall and realizing like, oh, the time to make changes is right now, or you're fucked. So.
Well, it takes 90 days about like the science says to fucking establish a new habit. So it's like I've been trying to say I'm gonna get sober, and I do like 5 weeks, and then I give up. I'm like, who am I doing this for? Gang. And it's like one of those things, but like maybe I'm afraid to hit 90 days or something. You know what I mean? Like something's like, so I don't. Who knows?
Right.
You know, but that's all it is. It's tough though. It's tough.
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy? Something I never considered. I had the nuttiest brain fog for like somewhere between 1 and 2 years, and I had a handful of suspicions of what I thought it was. Yeah. I'm like, low-key scamming the system right now. And I've got really good insurance at the moment. I've been really milking it. And, oh, shit, I lost my train of thought so hard. It's crazy.
The Bobcast is just one big rabbit hole.
God bless.
It happens.
I'm happy to be here.
Do you want me to move it on?
No, give me 1 second.
You're making money some type of fancy way.
Let me start what I was going to say over.
Go ahead.
Is, I've had the craziest brain fog.
Okay.
For about a year or two. And I had a couple of theories of what it could be related to, but I wasn't going to the doctor. And I just got really good insurance for the first time. And I've been going to a lot of doctors and figuring a lot of shit out. If my boyfriend brought up recently, he's like, you've gotten COVID like so many times. Like, I'm sure it has something to do with that. You should just get a booster. And I got a booster this week, and it's like night and fucking day. Like how like capable of being a person I am now. Like I have like this huge list of stuff I'm trying to like trudge through right now to sort of transition a few different things in my job, my house, yada yada.
Yeah.
And it just was so daunting forever. And then everything I've achieved in the last 48 hours, I'm just like, oh, I can actually get this done. Hell yeah. Like we're getting there.
Doing doctor tasks is like a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like I actually I need to go see a doctor. We talk about this on the Bobcast all the time too. I ask people like, when's the last time you saw your fucking physical normal doctor?
Oh, dude. I've seen so many doctors this year.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like before that, was there a huge gap in the time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. And like a lot of people are still in their gaps, and it's
right.
We all come to this conclusion like, we're 30. Maybe we should go.
Literally. I was very blessed to lose my job in December, and I have been dick riding unemployment since then. But I've got like food covered, health insurance covered, and I've had like a lot of health problems piling up that I've been neglecting for years. Now I'm just like using this time out of work to like get through all of them.
Yeah, this is what you need. Like you just went like through all that, and like now you're going through all this doctor shit. Yeah. And once you figure all that out, just change your lifestyle a little bit, and then you can like now we're set for your 40s and 50s. Yeah. I'm trying to do the opposite of all of the women before me in my bloodline, and actually give a shit before it's too late. Yeah, because we need you around, Lauren. You're funny. You know what I mean? You're like running 2 mics, and all that shit.
I don't think my contributions to Philadelphia comedy are.
It's still small, but because it's like such a short time you've been in it. Yeah. Well, you've been more productive than me. You know what I mean? Sometimes I look at you got to look at it that way, So it's like people see, Right. I've been interested in doing stand-up for the longest time. I grew up around here. I left for Florida when I was like 18. Yeah. I came back when I was 27. I did not enjoy my time there, but God, I learned so much about myself. And I never bothered to do stand-up when I was out there, because I was like, man, these people don't even like me like in person. Like they're not gonna like me on stage. And I didn't get into it until I got here, but I'm so grateful that that's the timeline I did it on, because I am able to just like
charge through and make at least somewhat of an impact, because I have like a very strong sense of self. I have a vision of what I want, and it's just like, okay, well, the things I'm trying to create don't really fit into what's here right now, so I'm just going to create space for it.
Yeah, and also because you're a little bit older too, like
Yeah.
you're like you established life a little bit,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if like there are some kids that get into it when they're like real young, and then I watch them get like bullied by other people. It's not my place to step in with these shenanigans because everyone's their own person. But like, you know, it's like, hey buddy, calm down, you know.
Yeah.
But like you can't like sometimes, you know, like comics start when they're like 55 or like those really old fucks, and they're like, well, I can't tell them anything. You know what I mean? Like, if they ask, like you can tell them whatever, but like you teach me something. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm listening.
Right.
You know, you have more experiences, or like just like experiences from a time before I was even born.
Right.
That's something
That's the thing. Like, I'm always trying to look at each individual person I encounter, like, for all of the circumstances that surround them.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I feel like some people will look at everybody with the same rubric, and it's like, well, she doesn't do like this on stage, or like I don't like this person for this reason. But it's like if you just like zoom out a little bit, it makes sense why everything is the way that it is. And yeah, like starting comedy at like 28, like I've got a lot of life experience to back up a lot of things I'm doing, but I'm still trying to figure out how to write a tight structured joke. Like, I try and I fail and I fail. But I think because of just my ability to be very comfortable like within myself and just like project that, like I'm already winning audiences over before I even like spit what I have to say out.
Yeah, there's something about you being comfortable that makes them comfortable up front.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then if you come up like unwavering, you better come out really like swinging.
Right.
I always try to come up like smiling, like because I know somewhere down the line I'm gonna fuck up and say something because someone looked at me like in a friendly way. Just that's just the way my personality is, right?
Right.
I sometimes say like little goofy things that are like, "What did he say?" And I'm like, "I don't know," and then I try to move on. But like I try to just start friendly and let it rip, and then end friendly. I kind of like, did you play an instrument growing up at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think what they taught us in band, if I remember, what was it? The instrument?
Oh, I was like, girl, I don't know. I was in drumline and pit percussion.
Oh, nice. I played percussion too.
Hell yeah.
What's your favorite instrument in there?
A marimba.
I love that.
I could not play it today, but I figured out how to fake it until I made it back then.
Of course. I was a bass drum guy.
Me too. That's what I did in indoor. I was much better at that because you don't have to like read me like the notes, like just like
feel the
beats.
music.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like Nick Cannon in drumline, where I like couldn't read the music, but I was just like vibing and it worked.
There sometimes just to look cool.
Yeah. I got like 4 copies of that on DVD for Christmas that year. It was crazy. My cousins are douchebags.
You made Nick Cannon all of his money for all of his children and wives.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, but I was saying that because like they say during a performance, as long as the beginning is good and the end's good, sometimes people don't remember the middle too much. You know, so just end on 2 happy notes.
Right.
And you can put maybe 1 or 2 sad things in there. People don't like to see me sad, I've learned. Right? Like, they're like, what the fuck? Like, does this kid need a hug? And I'm like, no, this is my whole existence, brother. And they're like, no, don't say that. Stop that.
I'm just being me, bro.
They're like, smile, goddammit. I'm like, okay. So, that's like at least what I try to do, you know? But I feel like starting quick, and I know Jerry Seinfeld says you got to get a laugh in the first 7 seconds. Well, I don't know if that obviously is true. Get it as fast as you can, but like, what if your setup is so interesting and you know that pop is going to be a pop forever? Like, I don't know. It's like I
really love coming onto stage and then like having a little bit of a slow start, but like getting their attention right away.
Yeah.
And then really just kind of like switching up on them and then hitting them really hard with a punchline. One of my first jokes. Some of the stuff that I do at shows, I've like been doing since like the beginning. I've just tweaked it a ton.
Yeah.
And then I like filter more stuff in it.
Well, that's kind of how you do it. You know what I mean? They say write your 3, that turns into 5. You add tags, you get a little juice there.
That first joke that I like to open with hell yeah.
I was trying to be polite, but next one I'll just let it rip.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, please be your whole entire self here. It's your home.
Thank you. It is. And this is my fish pearl.
I only noticed that there was a fish in there like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, I have to be cool about this.
She's my co-host, you know.
She's chill as fuck.
Yeah, well, it used to be Big Cliff, and before that, it used to be Big Juice.
Rest in peace. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh God, what was I talking about?
We were somewhere in comedy,
Right.
but I kind of forget too because Pearl makes me forget about everything. You know what I mean? There are some other things besides comedy I want to talk to you about, actually.
Yeah, let's transition.
It is what it is. Your whole IG fucking name is about like being a psychic. I did some psychic research, actually.
You're taking it more literally than anyone that's ever talked to me, but I'm okay with that. It was more just like, isn't this cute? Like,
No, but I need to know, do you have mental powers or abilities, do you feel?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now
I don't like bring it up, but if you're gonna ask.
So this is the real kicker. When I was doing my research, I learned there was 10 comic psychic abilities, right? And every one of them starts with clair. And I don't like clairvoyance, something like that. But it's basically your 5 senses: see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. There's telepathy, you know what I mean, or telepathy, you know what I mean. And then there's like feelings, emotions, and these are the 2 that kill me. Because the rest, okay, I get it. You're like really in touch with humans and their beings, and you're like how some people are tall.
Right.
Your feelings are stronger.
Right. Like, I know I'm probably not like psychic, but I do have post-traumatic stress disorder. Like,
no.
So I'm very like tapped in, like more tapped in than
Aware, self-aware.
It's like a pattern recognition thing.
Yeah, you can it's something like you see one guy doing something shady, you're like, oh, I've seen this before, and then he does it, and you're like, oh God,
Exactly.
called it.
Exactly.
But the 2 things that kill me were talk to ghosts. Psychics are really about this, and then cards. They
like tarot cards.
Yeah,
Okay.
But it was just like, all right, the ghost. Okay, I got that. You know, talking to the dead. But cards, play like, you know, now we gotta include that magic 8-ball. That's you gotta shake. We gotta Luigi boards. You gotta include all this shit.
Well, listen, if you're tapped into the collective unconscious, any physical thing can be a sign if like it all aligns in the right moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what I'm saying. So the problem with the cards for me is those cards are manufactured somewhere. You know, in China.
That is something I haven't. That is something I haven't totally made peace with.
So is China the one that's running everything?
Yes. Actually, I think you've cracked the code.
We did it here on the Bobcast together.
You heard it here first, folks. It's China.
They are psychic.
We're the first people to ever blame it on China. Revolutionary thinkers.
Well, you know, I mean, what is it? We're like never Eastern philosophy has always been like kind of that higher level thinking, kind of like a psychic or a witch or a guru. You know, like all these types of people are types of like people out there. You know,
right?
I was like, when I was doing this research, I was real stoned and I was trying to connect all this psychics over time and religion. You know, did you ever dress as a witch for Halloween?
No. People like love to project any sort of witchy thing onto me. I'm not like, I have a lot of crystals, but like I don't give a shit like that.
Okay.
Like I don't know, man. A lot. I have like outgrown like the phase where like it was the only thing I talked about.
Yeah.
Like now it's more of like a private thing I just kind of like deal with on my own.
I feel that. That's
yeah.
I get you.
But
okay,
like,
then let me ask you this. Do we think ghosts exist?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
That's definitely not a topic I'm passionate about either way, but if you tell me a convincing enough ghost story, I will believe it. I definitely have like felt as though I've had encounters with like, don't ask me more questions about it, but I definitely have had like encounters that felt as though I was dealing with some sort of spirit. But I mean, that's definitely not something I put too much thought into.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I gotta get through this list of psychic shit that I have listed here.
Please.
Yeah, but
Please.
I love how how I thought you were gonna be really into it. This is great.
I'm like very like astrology heavy.
That was next, right here.
I'm very like I read tarot cards, but I don't care like that.
Yeah. What sign are you? I had astrology shit next.
I'm a Pisces.
Pisces. That is fucking March time.
Yeah. March 8th. Which I've now said my entire birth date on this podcast. Steal my identity, I dare you.
But do you have a social security number? May I have?
Yeah, sure. Who gives a shit? Can someone pay my debt, please?
We give good financial advice here. Don't let us have it.
8675309. Do you catch the reference?
No.
Oh, rats.
8, 7. Is that in a rap song?
It's in a rock song. I forget who the artist is. It's like Jenny parenthesis 8675309, and they just sing those numbers over and over and over again. It's like a guy stalking somebody named Jenny. Anyway, I'm always making references like that when they land. God.
I grew up Indian. I don't really know.
You're so right. I forget about that. That is my biggest white privilege.
I just, they were trying to make me a doctor,
Right.
I wasn't watching. Actually, this is a song. I did listen to a lot of rock songs. Maybe I have come across this.
I'll send it to you later.
Yeah.
I was raised by wolves and television. So any pop culture reference, I promise you.
Are wolves religious? Were you raised in a religious family?
No, I went to Catholic school until 5th grade because of where I lived, and it was just the better choice.
Okay.
But no one gives a shit.
Now that I think about it, if we draw it full circle, your parents were really cool because you had a blue mohawk. Well, they're allowing.
Cool.
Chill.
Too uninvolved to really say anything. Yes.
Do you have a lot of siblings?
2.
Okay.
2.
Are you the baby?
I'm the oldest.
Okay. Oh yeah. See now, well,
it adds up.
You're the big dog. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
Because I'm the baby.
Oh, okay.
I have an older sister.
Okay.
So she has, I see your struggle now.
Yeah.
Right.
They
like fucking, they babied that last one real good.
Yeah. Hell yeah, they did. Yeah, I've got a weird relationship with all of them, but God bless them.
Yeah. I mean, that's family. You don't get to choose them. You don't get to choose family, and you don't get to choose your stalkers. That's what I always say.
Damn, that's a good point. And I've had some undesirable ones.
Right. Now imagine this real talk, because I had this real crazy girl that just recently wouldn't get rid of, I had to block her on everything. This is the first woman I've ever blocked like this. She sent me poems, handwritten with her hand. And I was like, I was already, done. This was like, she was asking for my boys' numbers and all this shit. But I wish I could just tell my dogs, hey man, look at this stalker, and they look at the picture and they're like, damn dude, she's stalking you, maybe you should give in. I wish that was the case in these circumstances.
It wasn't?
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was the case. Okay.
No, I said that's our dream. When you talk about even your stalkers.
Copy that.
What if they look like, I don't know, who are you really a fan of? Who's really hot to you?
Who's really hot to me in a way that I would stalk them?
No, just you think is attractiveness. Oh. Channing Tatum, you think that guy's hot?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Imagine if Channing Tatum was stalking you.
Right.
You tell your girlfriends, hey.
Right. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, I'll meet you halfway, Channing.
Okay, you little touchy.
Right.
So, we got a little off topic. Here's astrology. Do you really believe in that relationship shit?
Relationship shit?
Within astrology, they say this person and this person should meet up. Do you think
compatibility because of that?
Is that valid for you?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I am really into the entire birth chart.
Oh, okay.
And there's different things throughout that chart that can be compatible. So say your sun sign. So me being a Pisces and you being a
I'm a November 18th.
I thought I asked you this already. Sagittarius. Okay, got you.
Scorpio.
You're right. Wow, egg on my face. You're so right. Wow. So like that's what a sun sign is, and to say those two are like technically not compatible, but like enough elements of the rest of your chart are, you can kind of make it work.
Yeah.
So it's a little more nuanced than that, but yes.
Okay, hell yeah. I love that. The guy the people that bought our Dairy Queen, the father, he's really into like astrology and all this, and like the numbers, right? And he'll like count like the middle. I think what it is, 18, so 9, right? And I need a 6. So I need a girl whose middle numbers add up to like a 6.
Oh, numerology.
Yeah. So he's really into this because this makes sense because he's Indian. You know, these are his numbers, his math. Oh, that's a punch, baby.
That's the thing. I definitely have like the white girl Tumblr versions of most of this, and I do fully recognize that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'm not really like, I don't know it. He just got like he just asked. I just, you know what I mean. But one thing I did figure out was Scorpios November 14th. That guy, right? He was conceived theoretically February 14th, right? He was sometimes a mistake, or she, you know, he was just, they were making love because of corporate holiday, you know, February 14th, Valentine's Day. A lot of those kids are mistakes.
That's true. You hear that, folks?
This is my theory because I'm a Scorpio. I'm like, you know what I mean?
They do say that. There is a post I always see circulating on Valentine's Day. We're like, make sure you use a condom. We don't need any more Scorpios out there.
See, and I get so sad.
I'm like, even if you're right, chill.
I'm like, those are my people. You know, we're victims.
Right. In my experience, no, you weren't. But
my parents could have had sex a month later, and I would have been fine. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, because then you would have been a Sagittarius, and you would have been really annoying.
All right, facts. Okay, I would like to have been born in the summer. I feel like coming out of the womb in the warm month, I feel like it's healthy for my doctor opinion.
Okay. I follow that train of thought.
But I have to also argue that because, you know, like women in Poland will put their babies, freshborn babies, out in like the cold in the carriage, harden them up. So there is a little bit about cold too. And, you know, we're just very malleable at that young age. You just put in whatever post oven you want and it'll adapt.
Yeah. And there'll be strengths and weaknesses to both.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, humanity.
Humanity. It is gorgeous. I'm happy to be part of it.
I was like trying to think of the word. Wow.
No, believe me, I'm so familiar with how that goes. I've been doing this thing lately where I'll like shuffle the words in my sentence. I do it all the time. Where like I'll like Mad Libs them in the wrong place and it comes out of my mouth and then I'm like, wow, I really fried my brain.
I do this.
You think it was the Robitussin?
It was all that, and it's also this like 30-year-old swagger. You're like, you know, I don't kind of give a fuck now. So if I go up there and I
early
stumble
onset dementia.
You know, I had someone tell me that it could be kind of that from all the, you know, whatever substance you had been abusing for so long. You know what I mean? And now we're just all a little retarded earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I got some theories on that.
Have you ever been dropped on your head? Hit your head hard?
I refuse to believe I wasn't. Long story, but I accidentally got hit in the head with a golf club like mad hard when I was like 3, and I got a really gnarly concussion last year.
Oh,
I was outside of a comedy show, and I had like 10 milligrams of a sativa gummy, and I think I was underhydrated, and then I was just in the middle of talking to somebody, and then I'm like, wait, hold on, I'm getting dizzy. I went to like pull out a chair for myself, and then as I was trying to unfold it, I just like collapsed.
Fainted.
But I was like at a cafe, so I like smashed my head into the concrete wall and then onto the sidewalk. And that shit wasn't cute, dude. And you know what? That was almost that was like exactly a year ago. It just came up in my memories on my iPhone. And I am going to a neurologist for the first time next week.
Yeah.
You want to borrow something from my culture?
Yeah.
I always pray to Saint Anthony when I can't find something. And I don't know, man. It works. I couldn't find my keys earlier today. I said like 2 words into the prayer and I looked over and I was like, hell yeah.
What is St. Anthony responsible for?
The patron saint of finding things. I don't even totally know the lore. It's just been drilled into me. Dear St. Anthony, please come around. Such and such is missing and cannot be found. Just repeat it over and over again. Shit turns up, dog.
Yeah.
Shit turns up. I don't even know if it's just like I'm focusing on it and then like I'm figuring it out, but
it's like almost like a mantra. I think that's
exactly. When I first got here, I sold a car, and it was one of those cars that like you don't actually like put keys into the ignition. It's like a remote, and I got here under weird circumstances, and I was like moving back to where I grew up, and I would like just drive around to like my high school late at night and shit and think real hard. And
I've done this.
and I'd like gotten out of the car. Apparently the keys had gotten like knocked out into the parking lot. And then a friend I grew up with was like, what are you up to? Do you want to hang out? And they were like 15 minutes away. So I went. The car was already on. I drove all the way to this kid's house without the keys because the car was already on. The keys were in Wissahickon High School parking lot. And when I went to leave at like 4 a.m., I was like, I don't know where the fuck my keys are. We're looking for like an hour. Halfway through, I start praying to St. Anthony. And then finally it occurs to me, I'm like, I left that shit in the parking lot.
Yeah.
I sound like a fucking psycho.
Nah. You know what? You want to hear one? I'll top that one.
Please.
I used to do this thing in college where I would hide my, like, literally my phone every night. Like, for 3 months, I was blacking out, and I just hide in my phone. So the next day, and I remember one time I had lost my Sperry's for, like, a couple of weeks. And I opened my freezer, and they were just in like my little fucking frat little fridge, and there's a little freezer compartment, and the Sperry's were in there. And I knew this wasn't a prank because they were washed. This bastard thought, clean them, put them in the freezer. They're going to come out fresher than ever.
Oh, man. That sounds distressing.
I was stressing, and I was like trying to get through engineering school, so I was more stressing. You know what I mean? All I know now is I don't stress. I try to just live life now.
Yeah, I have definitely like landed on my feet enough times where like I don't tweak out when I get like really bad news or something interrupting my plans. Just like I will figure this out, and if I lose my mind, I won't figure it out faster. So.
How are you about like feeling like chilling by yourself, like being alone?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I think like once you're comfortable being alone, then like if plans like kind of like let's say you're like really excited for something and then it like fucking or someone disrespects you, it's like I feel like now I only have to give someone like 3 or 4 opportunities before I'm like, all right, bro, this doesn't actually need to happen, you know, like our existence together on this planet, you know?
I'll just stay out of your way.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah.
Like sometimes, right? He like sometimes has a little beef with me, and
Very
I'm
cool.
like, brother, you can move however you want, and I'll just like if you see me at a mic, I'll just go the other way. Like I don't need this life.
I feel that. I will neglect to name names or go into too many details, but somebody had recently like disrespected me in a way that really just caught me off guard because I was like, bro, I thought we were fine.
Yeah.
And I like put my foot down really hard, was like, I see what you're doing. I don't like it. I said something that was a little unsavory. And then I just like blocked her, thought that was the end of that, whatever. And then like it just spiraled into so much after that where like every time we were in the same room, she'd make like a huge deal about it and people would tell me about it. I'm like, oh, I don't give a fuck like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just here and I'm staying out of your way. Like, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I have much bigger fish to fry than like a early 20-something with a personality disorder. Like, like God bless your heart. You will figure it out someday.
Yeah.
I'll stay out of your way if you stay out of mine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too much.
It is, and like I'm like I have like exactly like you have other things to worry about. Like my
Right.
hips hurt, I mean.
Right.
I'm like, dude, I have no energy actually to get in a fight.
Right.
This is my biggest fear right now.
I said this earlier today, but I've been having all these crazy health problems, and like the only thing on my mind is my mortality rate. And it's like someone tries to beef with me over weird ego shit, and I'm like, get out of my way! Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've been going to comedy a lot less because it's just like. People project. I don't know if they do it to everybody, but they certainly do it to me. Where like they just project onto me a lot and like think I'm treating them a certain way, or think I did this, or think I did that.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even thinking about you. Like I'm sorry. Like
you're just here, trying to do your job.
Yeah.
Live your dream. Yeah.
I've just been bobbing and weaving so many weirdos where I'm just like, I'm gonna do this less actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, I was like, I'm just gonna like, work on the Bobcast a little, and then when I come back, the whole look will be different.
Right.
And then now we're just chilling.
Right.
Like my whole goal was like, as long like maybe if I just get bigger than everybody.
I mean, yeah, but like not even that. It's just like, why the fuck can't we all get along? Like, I don't have to like you, and your comedy doesn't have to be for me.
Yeah.
There's no reason to not be able to be in the same room as a person you fundamentally disagree with, and not be able to just like let each other do their thing and not be weird little babies about it.
I know, but for some people that tastes so good. That's what I really learned. You know what I mean? They love it. They relish in it.
Right.
Like there's one older lady, much older. She's quite the character, and she beats with me so hard, and I just because she's an older lady in the scene, I just take it, and I said, please, let me be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like other people's mental illnesses are so freaking exhausting. Like, it's just like, dude, I've got my own, and I've done a great deal of work on myself to not make it someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Do the world a favor and figure that out too. Like,
I know, but some people grow up so, what you call it, like entitled. And they think they're right by the fucking circumstances they grew up in and all that.
The funny thing is I'm the very opposite of that, is because my mom is very like that. It's very like her way or the highway. She will not hear any other reason. Everything is black and white. And I've like watched the other side of that my whole life, where it'll just be like all of the fallout from her behaving like that.
Yeah.
And because of that, I can't act like that.
Oh yeah, like you don't want to like the apple falls this one far from the tree.
Yeah.
It rolled a little bit.
In a way that it's like kind of bad for me, because it's not that difficult to like manipulate me or like make me think I'm the one that's wrong. Doing enough work on myself that I can figure it out. But like that was something I struggled with for a long time. Was just like, oh no, you're right, I'm wrong. Let me fix it.
Really like making people happy and succumbing to peer pressure.
Yeah.
People pleasers. I mean, that's like, look, that's why you're in comedy now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is like but
gotta please the people.
You're a person of the people, but like I say, like I'm doing it on my time now.
Yeah. Exactly. And honestly, I don't mind this route where like the tough part for me was like having to harden up a little bit because I was like so soft, and then like now being somewhere in the middle of that instead of being like too far on the other end of it and then maybe never figuring it out. Because I like it better here in the middle where like people can't walk all over me, but like I am willing to like process nuance and see your side of the story.
And I also think like you never want to finally just establish this is my character. My mom's always like, she always, if I don't call her for 3-4 days, she's like, oh, where have you been? Where are you? And I say, I'm just a bond in the boven, which means like a leaf in the wind.
Cute.
Right? And then it's like, as long as you're always just ebbing and flowing.
Yeah.
But staying consistent.
Right.
In this fucking thing. You don't go too far. Like, I think, okay, check this out. It's like life has a series of waves in it, whether it be in sound and light, I guess, and all that shit, right? Like waves everywhere. In the ocean, waves. So like as long as you're consistently in the fucking, I forget what these terms are called, in the trough, right? But like this, when you start getting out here and the fucking length of the wave becomes like erratic, I think that's where depression and mental illness forms. People that live right here tend to be more consistent day to day. Yeah. And I think like, like someone that's like tried sobriety, that means I'm living in these maximum zones.
Yeah, right.
Then we do comedy, which is also like a very big anxiety driven thing, even just like for a person that doesn't party or do drugs or like, you know what I mean, whatever it is. So it's like you're constantly doing that. As long as like your sleep good? Like mine isn't good. Like that's another thing that gets
better.
It needs to be better.
Yeah.
Like sleep is actually number one.
Right.
You know, like fuck. I mean, obviously not fuck everything else, like eating good and all that, but like sleep will keep you here.
Right.
Like, you know, Jordan Peterson, he once said, you need to get your fucking, your sleep schedule good. And I was like, yeah, you're right. What, man?
That's the thing. I certainly don't agree with everything Jordan Peterson stands for. There's a few quotes that I just like thought were floating around the internet that I've recently found out are attributed to him. And I'm like, well, I guess broken clocks, right? Yeah. Twice a day.
Look, people that have like him, like a philosophist or whatever he probably is. What is he, a lawyer or some shit?
I don't even totally know his deal. I just know a lot of people that I loathe look up to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he has a lot of great thoughts, and sometimes he has extreme thoughts. Like,
yeah, right.
Even like someone that's even more polarizing is like Andrew Tate up front. He was like a real. People didn't like him, but he has also some thoughts that like relate back to like just like Muslim culture that people were missing. You know what I mean? So like these guys also understand the power of clips and social media. They have like media influencers, like not like their managers telling them like you got to kind of go around these talking points as well. Like this is also income for them,
right?
You know, so it's like also we like, you know, we gotta take everything with a grain of salt because it is social media. Right, like when you put them in like a room, like, you know, like did you watch that Theo Von and Donald Trump interview?
I need to, but I have not yet.
I thought it was like, you know,
I'm interested.
Yeah, it was great because I love Theo. I think he like I'm in support of the mullet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Naturally,
like, he's just like a good guy that just like grew up kind of dumb in these like wherever he grew up, and he just, you know, like his comedy. If you watch him for years, I feel like I relate to his comedy. Like I'm working on stories, but I don't exactly know where they are. You know what I mean? But we're doing it together.
Right.
And, you know, he was really into like drugs and opioids because his friends have died. He's like 10 years sober off of that. So he talked about with Trump a lot from his perspective. And I thought Trump put some insightful, like he didn't like quiver on anything. Things that he was confused about, even with Theo, he asked. Nice. So he wasn't just like ever brushing him off. You know, there was actually conversation.
Right.
And
that's the thing. I don't care what side of any fence you're on. If you're just like a condescending little prick, like I respect you so much less than somebody I completely disagree with that can have a conversation with someone they may not agree with.
Yeah. And I think the media is a lot distorted. Like Joe Biden actually came to the Shipyard once. And he gave whatever speech.
He gave you a kiss?
I wish. He had some ice cream sandwiches with some of the Mexican workers, though.
That fucking rocks.
For photo opportunity, I tell you.
Well, that adds up.
But he was much sharper in person than the media made him to seem. But then some people told me he does small crowds better. And as a performer, I'm like, you know, yeah, it could be the thing, you know. Also, like, you know, this one is like, it's nothing to him, you know, just some manufacturing guys. Oh, build back better.
Right.
So the conversation is like that big, but like, you know, like the media definitely makes them seem some way. And I'm also like at fault for falling into that heat in my like mid 20s. I would like see something, I'd be like, oh, this guy is doing this, and it's the guy editing it. Now that I've edited so many clips, and now I'm slowly understanding how to change narrative of clips to make them pop a little bit.
Right.
Now I'm seeing it. I can take this whole conversation and make it about like dogs if I want to. Look, all right, I like dogs. That's the only line I need now. Any conversation we had could be about dogs. Because of editing.
Right,
you know
right. No, I feel you.
And now AI, you know what I mean? Like I get, like, it's over. You know,
yeah.
It's like over. Are you scared for the future? Let's do that and get out of here because I'm gonna go to this open mic. I think.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Scared for the future. Well, in a much more self-centered view, no, because there's no way my future is worse than my past, and I really do feel like the rest of my life is going to be a lot chiller than anything I'm used to. But the world around me,
That's what I mean. That's
no,
what,
I know it's like weird to think about, because it's like, oh yeah, for sure, but it's like I don't even want to think too hard about that, because I'm like, oh, but I'm like kind of happy for the first time in my life. Isn't that a bitch, you know? Like, I finally don't mind being alive, and then the world around me is crumbling.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I will say is that I do have faith that things are getting so bad, and everybody's collectively kind of like waking up at once, even if like it was gonna take a lot to get them there. Like a lot is happening, and I think it's possible we can all decide to do things differently. And I feel like some sort of revolution is like on its way, but is it too late? Possibly. Like,
yeah.
is it too late? Most likely.
In terms of war and shit, I think that is a machine that never can go away.
Right.
It makes too much money.
Right.
That is the craziest one. Government money.
Right.
That's like when a government's like, hey, can you guys build a battleship? And you're like we don't make any right now, but I've heard stories, right? Like they can be like, you know, guys, I don't like this one fucking bolt. And it's unlimited money because it's your money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm definitely like well beneath the poverty line, and the jobs that I kind of have accessible to me are not great. But
no. What I meant like that is like they don't ever want war to end.
Right.
And no matter what even job you have, you're still paying taxes.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that there's already such little that I have, and they just keep taking more and more from me.
And putting it to war.
And then telling me like, oh, actually you make too much money to make food stamps according to what your paycheck looks like before taxes. Yeah. But then it's like, okay, if I had the money you took out for taxes, I could afford groceries.
Yeah.
But you're giving it to instead. Fuck me.
I know. No, I mean, the whole thing kills me too, because I'm like, you know, there's so many problems here, right? And if you like, as someone like that knows people that even make like, I don't even think about like money like is so abstract, because people. I know a guy that can sell his company and make like 7 figures on the deal, right? So I was like, when you have that kind of perspective, then I know guys that make like less than me, but they're happier, right?
Right.
So you actually like money is an abstract scale, and you get like to a certain level, and that can buy like your certain necessities,
right?
And then after that, it's like, how much luxury,
do
you want? You know,
right. The only luxury I really want is like comfort.
Yeah.
This unemployment thing's been pretty chill, because I had to wait a while to get it, but I got a really fat back paycheck. And like I have savings for the first time like fucking ever, which is not something I love saying publicly. But just like whenever something comes up and I need to like fix it right away, and I can, like if I have to buy ant traps, or like if I have to like get something to fix anything in my house, I can just do it like right away. That is a luxury that is brand new to me. And to just like exist without being in a constant state of fight or flight is literally all I want.
Okay, now I have one more question before we get out of here. Sometimes I ask people this: what's your biggest fear? Is it like ever falling back into serious poverty then?
I mean, I'm definitely still in it. I would say my biggest fear is that I'll never get my shit together. I think I've figured too much about myself out, and I'm on the right trajectory, and I am going to get there. But the older I get and the more like further behind I feel, I'm just kind of like, fuck, this might not all come together. You know?
No, that's one of the flaws everybody has, is always comparing them to someone else at that same time.
Gotta knock it off. It's crazy. Comparison is the thief of joy, and I just keep letting it happen. And
the thing is that is basically like when you see it all the time at the Olympics, when two sprinters are sprinting and the one kind of looks at the other, and the other one in second is focused on the goal, right? Because like look at all these great people like J.K. Rowling, all these people. I know I love Harry Potter. Look, it's on the fucking wall. I know she has some issues with the LGBTK people.
We don't have to talk about that right now.
but like she wrote Harry
It's really
Potter.
just the tease.
Yeah, she wrote Harry Potter. She made a magical world for a whole, like, you know what I mean? But so it's like,
Right.
And that didn't happen until later in her life. So
Yeah.
you have to like set these things up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's like anyone who's made it through anything has done it for a minute. You know?
Right.
I've like heard about comics in this scene that have quit after like 3 years.
Right.
And I'm like the entrance to major is 5.
Right.
Someone told me, Alan Massenberg, he's like, I don't even like consider I've been doing comedy until 5 years, and that's 1.
Right.
So now it's like,
Right.
kind of think about it that way. Like right now you're in no man's land.
Yeah.
Do you still
Most
like
definitely.
it? Like exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, that's like the reoccurring question you should have in your head. Like, do I like this enough to
Yeah.
be doing it consistently, or else just don't do it, because this is an annoying thing to be doing sometimes.
I agree. And that's how I know I'm like deluded enough to be like really true to this, is that like I've gained a lot of responsibilities in the last few months and I'm already sick of them. But
Yeah.
like I still give it like 120%. And I really think I was recently made fun of at a roast for having said this, but I really think that this is how I'm going to turn my life into anything at all. And I'm, no matter what bullshit anyone tries to start with me, I'm just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like longevity is like always at the front of my mind with anything comedy related, because it's just like I don't have to be chasing this thing or that thing. I'm going to be doing this for a long time, and I'll have plenty of time to like do my little tap dance and make people approve of me. You know what I mean?
This is what it is. It's a
Yeah.
long game.
Yeah.
It's what other accessories to this career would you like to endeavor in?
Something I've always been interested in is like writing sitcoms, running my own someday. I've done nothing towards that so far.
Start making just like little YouTube sketches. That's like that's a precursor to sitcoms, right?
I'm trying to like tighten up my writing with like stand up first, but stand up has always been like my gateway into that world.
Of course.
In my head.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying like that's the kind of like
You're right though.
like sitcom is too big of a cake for where we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
And I'm trying to get good at the things I have in front of me. That's a big thing I think about a lot, is that like I want to stay in Philadelphia until I'm ready to commit to like moving to LA.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for like 5 more years.
Yeah.
And I want to be a big fish in a smaller pond and then be like very good at what I do by the time I get to a place where like it really matters.
Yeah, to be honest, I've heard a lot of comics that have like left Philly, go to other places, and they're like, you know, like I go here and I'm like, they're like surprised that like they're kind of like the better of the bunch of each night.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think it's true. Like, you know, you have Philly is like no joke. Like when I was deciding when I was leaving upstate New York, like where do I want to move? Because I decided I'm going to do engineering, but also comedy, because I did a fucking talent show in high school, and I didn't have a talent, so my talent was stand up, and I crushed, and it was an auditorium. You know, I told
That is how stand up goes. I didn't have a talent, so
Yeah.
I didn't stand up.
Exactly. And I just was thinking in upstate New York, like high as hell. Like when was the last time I was happy sober? And I was like, when I was crushing on this stage in an auditorium, and I was really doing it. And I was like,
Crushing feels so good, but the bombing, my God.
yeah, but it's all right. Those are the extremes. You got to live in the, you know what I mean? When you,
right.
is the 24-hour rule. Don't live in those moments for more than 24 hours.
Brilliant.
These are this is some a lady coach for a basketball team said it. I forget her name, but I mean, she breeds champions. You know what I mean? I just I wanted to emphasize she was a lady that said this.
Emphasize she's a lady, but don't give her an identity.
I just right now don't remember her name.
I'm just fucking with you.
You get no identity, madam. Welcome to the Bobcast.
Oh man, I forgot to look at the camera all night. What's up, guys? What's your fan base called?
They're either called Bhav Nation or the Bafreaks.
How we doing, Bhav Nation Bafreaks? It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, the naughty ones are the Bafreaks. The good ones are the Bhav Nation.
Oh man, I'm trying to occupy both camps.
Yeah, you got to be naughty and good.
It's all about balance. If we've landed on anything tonight.
Yeah, that is true. All right, Lauren, let's wrap this up. Tell them where to find you.
Well, As Bhav mentioned, you can find my Instagram at Psychic Girlfriend. I also run a monthly comedy show on Instagram in a house. You can find us on Instagram at Funhouse PHL. And I do that once a month at Not So Latin in South Philly. And if anyone wants to stalk me at the open mic I run, Fergie's Pub, 9:00 on Sunday.
Love that, baby. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Tell them deuces.
Deuces.